All right, everyone, we are here with a very special guest. We are joined by the lovely Dixie Amelio. There you go. She's looking right in the camera. She knows where to look. Thank you so much for joining us. We've been wanting to have you on the podcast for a while, so we're very excited to have you here in person.
Yes, thanks for having me. I'm excited.
Welcome back to New York. You know, I'm sad your mom is not with you.
I know, she was like, tell them I said hi.
Yeah,
I was really expecting her to be here.
She's been on our show, and we did that over Zoom because that was kind of like really lockdown time, and I think she was like in her closet or something. It just like looked amazing, but we were like obsessed with her. She just seemed so cool, and she was like, I gotta tell the girls to do the show. We're like,
Do you remember, you might not, when you came here for the first time and we made a TikTok together, and it was so incredibly uncomfortable because they were like, teach them how to dance, and you guys were trying to teach us a dance, but you could tell that like it was like
I don't know how to dance.
Yeah, it was like we weren't picking it up, and you guys were like, you already knew it, so you were like, oh, let's just do it. And I still to this day look at the TikTok, I'm like, this was one of the most awkward things we've ever done, but it's so funny to look back on. And you've done so much since the beginning of starting TikTok. I mean, you have a new song out now called Wild. You have an album coming in June. You did the reality show. You've done your YouTube podcast. What has been your favorite thing that you have done in the past few years now? Because you've done it all.
I feel like music is definitely number one, and then very close to is like all the stuff I've done with modeling. I just think it's fun and never feels like work, really. It's just everything that goes into it is always fun. I don't know. Everything else, like, you could tell it's kind of work and long days, but photo shoots don't really get tiring, and like music is really fun.
the new song is called Wild, and I love it. I listen to it. I think it's very like summer song, like pop vibes, different than the other stuff you put out. Did you want to kind of get a little bit happier?
Yes. So that's kind of the reason we put that song out first. Was I think I like started working with two new people who are just extremely talented, and we wanted to develop me more as an artist, and I felt like that song did it the most because like the production was insane, like everything was really cool, but the other songs are a little more personal. I don't think there's anything really sad.
That's
not really.
I mean, but I feel like music
like really
reflects the artist. So if that's the song, the music you're putting out, then I feel like that means life is good.
It's a little toxic, but it is not as sad.
Yeah.
And better. It's like everything is just so much better, and like I kind of want to delete everything that I already did and start fresh, but I know it's like a journey and whatever.
Yeah. Now you have always been into music, right? Like you've sang your whole life, and I feel like, was it when you got this major platform that you were like, all right, now I could take advantage of this and do the things that I've always wanted to do in my life? Or did somebody approach you and was like, you should do music?
Well, my manager had like a studio in his house and was like, you should come and record, because he like saw a video of me singing, and I was like, no, I'm a very shy person, and especially with music, I was like, no, I don't really want to do that. And then I did it, and it was like very scary. Like it took me like 4 days to record a song, where like it takes usually like 2 hours, but I was just so shy and just like not that I didn't want to do it, I just was like so uncomfortable. And then after I released Be Happy and then like actually did well, I was like, okay. And then I signed to a label and started doing more, and now it's just really fun. I love going into the studio. It's so relaxing. I can get a song done in like an hour if I really need to, and just like the whole process of writing is really fun, because I can have like the best day ever and write about it, or like I hate this person, I want to write everything about it and just get all my feelings out so I can move on, and the song like could possibly never be released, but I just like that
better than like tweeting it all out there.
It's like it's really fun just to have for myself and like listen to it and like, oh, okay, I have those feelings out, and I don't need to like do anything that would hurt me for that.
I see you on Twitter all the time, like, go back and forth. Like, you'll have one tweet, and then the tweet right after it, like, completely contradicts the tweet before. It's like, are you sitting there, like, just basically reading everything that's coming in on Twitter, and it just makes you go crazy?
I just think it's so weird how people see like what I'm saying. So I'm like, good morning, slut.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, I can say that. And people like see that. And I also just try to be not, I don't know. I just want to be as much as myself as I can, and also not anything, because I feel like people are in the position sometimes where they're super PG and have a kid audience, and then they like are caught saying a curse word and it's like the biggest thing. So I never wanted to be like that. And I want the people who follow me to get my humor and like understand I'm very sarcastic. Like I don't want anything to ever be serious, because it's all like, it's the internet. Like that's
and you
so
curse
funny.
like it's
a
not
little.
yeah. I even curse a little. No, but you're right though. It's like sometimes it's like, oh my god, like the Miranda Cosgrove clip went crazy because it was like crazy that she even said something.
I wasn't
like
even
that.
thinking, but that exact situation, I never want that to happen.
Right.
And like, or just, I'm not always like, oh my god, thank you so, like, it's so sweet. Like if you meet me and like I know you're a fan of me or whatever, and like you know my personality, like I can joke around with you and it'll be normal. Like I don't want it to be so, I don't know. I just think that's so cool. Like I feel Billie Eilish does that as well, or like people like her can just go up and people know her personality, and I love that. And I never wanted to be like, oh, she was rude. I'm like, no, I just like, I'm joking. Like I love you. I'll do whatever. I don't care.
And then everybody knows that that's your sense of humor.
Yeah.
Has it been hard to kind of like expand social life stuff in LA, knowing like, I just feel like sarcasm gets lost a lot in LA. I feel like
you're
it's
from
such
the East Coast.
Yeah, like it's such a New York East Coast. Like I'm New Jersey, she's New York. Like I feel like we understand the sarcasm, and sometimes when we go to LA, it just goes whoosh,
and we'll like say jokes, and people will be like, oh, I can't believe you said that, and I'm like, that was shocking. Like I don't know, it just feels like different sense of humors.
I think it's here and there. I feel like that's the reason like I do really well in business sometimes. Like if someone who gets me and like they're like, oh, no one's ever talked to me like that before, but then there's also the people who's like, don't talk to me like that, and I'm like, okay, then I don't know if we're gonna work well together. But like my whole music team, I'm working with like some people who are legends, and I can totally be myself, and it just feels so great that it's not like weird and I have to be like, oh my gosh, thank you so much, like, and because we have that connection where we respect each other and also like be normal with each other, which I really like.
Yeah. And people respect that so much more if they're a real person as well, when you're yourself, because you can pinpoint immediately when somebody's like being very fake, and you know behind closed doors like that's not really their personality, versus like you yourself, it's very obvious that you're being yourself. And you said that you're very shy, right? And I think that makes sense. And sometimes when people have a really big following or whatever it is, actors, actresses, and they say that they're really shy, and people are like, there's no way that they can be shy. They're in front of a camera. What would you say to people like that? Because I feel like there's like this narrative that people are not allowed to be shy if you have millions of followers.
I don't know. I feel like also, I think my shyness is a little selective. And like if I know like I need to put it on, I won't be as shy and closed off. But sometimes I'm like, I'm very uncomfortable, or if like I know half of the people or a little bit, like when I walk into a room, it's mostly people my age I'm the most shy about. And like if I meet someone who like asks for a picture and they're my age, I'm like, okay, I don't know. Like I'm always so timid about
Why
that.
do you think that is?
I'm like, oh, are they making fun of me? Or but also it sucks because when I meet like cool people who I feel like possibly could be making fun of me, I was like, oh, we'd probably be such good friends, like if you didn't have this kind of idea of me from the internet.
And we got to see like a much deeper look into your life from the Hulu show, and you guys shared a lot. Was that terrifying? Like, did you want to do that show?
I definitely wanted to do the show. I did not think I was going to have a breakdown on camera. That was kind of like random that happened. The cameras were on and I came to my parents' house and I was already crying and they're like, can we film? I was like, whatever. But I think the worst part of doing that is when people come up to me and are like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Like, that was sucked, like seeing you cry. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's so embarrassing. But I think it did help people. I have gotten that, which I really appreciate. And like, that's just kind of makes me feel better that I put that out there. But I definitely don't ever want to cry online
like
again.
that.
It is very real though, right? Like if people are going to watch a show about your life, it's not just rainbows and butterflies all the time. Like people have their moments, they break down, they cry. You mentioned your parents, and you guys are a very, very close family, which I think is really cool. And I think that people love to see that. And maybe if they don't exactly have that in their lives, and they can like see it through you guys. But what is it like always working with your parents? Because there has to be some aspect of it where it's like you're growing up on camera in front of millions of people, and your parents are also there a lot of the times as well.
I love hanging out with my parents. I feel like we go back and forth, like, of us annoying them. Like, we really... My sister and I love hanging out with my parents, and they're like really cool and just like
they seem
fun.
very
like
cool.
They don't make things weird. My dad is like really smart, so when we're going to a business thing, like I know he's never going to embarrass me or anything. He's going to protect me, but he's also not in charge. Like they're not my managers. At the end of the day, they're still my parents, and like off camera, we still hang out together. Like I live right next to my parents. We hang out all the time. I think the only thing that we ever get in like arguments about, I hate taking pictures. My mom loves taking pictures. So she's like,
I love her Instagram.
That's a classic mom. That's a classic mom
she's
argument.
like, before we go, let's take a picture. And that's like the only thing. She's like, oh, just take the picture. Yeah, whatever. But
yeah, you guys seem so close, and it's awesome to hear like people your age. And I mean, I even love hanging out with my parents too, but it's such a strange thing sometimes that people just are like, how could you love hanging out with your parents? But when your parents are so cool like yours, it makes sense. And you guys go on these vacations together. And where were you guys recently?
We just went to the Bahamas. But I got so many people like, when are they ever going to go on vacation without their parents? Like, my dad gets the nice room. Like everything's set up. He pays for dinner. I'm like, why would I not go on vacation with my parents?
That's a big Fran move.
I'm 27 years old, and I am booked for this summer for my family vacation with my siblings and my parents. So,
it's just so fun. And like,
yes, it is.
I feel like if I went on vacation with my friends, it'd be so unorganized and something bad would happen. Like, it's so nice having my parents there.
Yeah.
And
also,
you
about picking the good restaurants. Like,
and you know that you can have time away from them because they also want their time alone too. Like they don't want to be with you guys 24/7.
They're like, okay, I think we're gonna go on vacation. I'm like, without us, that's not happening.
It's rude.
Yeah, I think it is fun too. Like as you get older, people like now my family, we bring all of our significant others. Like that is fun. You can have like good time to hang out and relax and like do your own thing and be able to enjoy your own time. And like the dynamic you guys have on the show, I feel like seems so authentic to who you really are, which is really cool because you sometimes, you know, you get these I guess what would you consider that was like a docu-series, right?
I think
like
that's the term.
Yeah. And are you guys gonna keep doing it?
So we just finished season 2.
Oh, amazing.
Oh, cool. I'm down to do another season. I love doing it. But it's just really cool because it does take me out of the box of like a TikToker a little bit, but also people get to, I don't have to post everything because it's on the show. So like I don't have to be like, hey, in the studio today, I promise like I'm working. Right. You can actually see it like on the show.
Exactly.
Which is nice.
How do you think TikTok has changed since when you guys first started to now? And I mean, we all have seen how much it has changed, but what do you think the biggest difference is? And are you more hesitant now to post stuff on there?
I feel like what's changed is the amount of people who have followers, like a big amount of followers. So it's very hard to like connect because there's so many people with so many followers and there's so many influencers. Like it's very oversaturated. So I feel like that sometimes makes it difficult to like who's going to be my audience because there's no like it person at the time. Where like when we were first starting, there was a new person every week or a couple of weeks who was like, that's it. Like I think the last person who was kind of like that was like Vinny Hacker, and then after that everyone started growing together. But I feel like I'm not scared to post. I just never know what to post, and I'm like, I have so many TikTok drafts, and I'm I should post this, but I'm like, people won't get it. But I've been getting a lot more comfortable. I'll just post like what I want.
Yeah.
But my friends only is so much better.
And I think that, I mean, you're not going to totally listen to us, but just from a viewer standpoint, it's like people want to see those drafts that you may think that you're afraid to post, or that we don't want to see, or that your fans don't want to see. It's like they definitely do, and as soon as you post them, they're going to be like, oh, this is what we want to see. So but I get when you have that huge following and you're under a microscope, you're just like, what should I, like, what's my audience now? Like, which avenue do I go down?
And I also do think a lot of like my digital footprint and like my brand at the same time, because I have things I know they're funny, but I'm like, oh, do I really want to like joke that I got a BBL or something? Like something like that. I don't know. So I just try to, or I'll just post weird videos, and I'm like, this would do so well, but like as an overall for my brand, I'm gonna like save that for my friends and kind of I don't know.
Yeah, TikTok has gotten weirder. I would say like people feel more
free. People are very comfortable
to like get weird on TikTok.
Sometimes I'm like, why are you sharing that? But also you're making me feel really normal that you're sharing that. Yeah. But I also think that you should keep some stuff for your friends, because you need to have some sort of balance.
Like
there.
I don't need everyone knowing something. Sometimes I'm like, oh, this is great. Like I'm glad I'm not alone in this. But I'm like, I would never put this on the internet.
Right.
But
you need some privacy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. You have really now dabbled in all corners, it feels like, of like performing and like reality TV and fashion, your own clothing line, like all of those things are so cool. How involved are you in the creative process for all the clothes?
Very involved in everything. But I mean, I kind of talked about this before, but like I am doing a lot of stuff and I am very involved in everything, but at the same time, like if I'm having a conversation about the clothing line, that's the only thing on my mind. And I kind of not forget about it, but put it aside to focus on something else, because I would never be able to do this if I had to like think about everything all at the same time. So people ask me and I'm like, I don't know. They're like, what's coming next, or when did you do this? I'm like, I have no clue. It all happened. I got done. I know I did it at some point, but it's a lot.
It's all a blur. And you said that music is probably what excites you the most. Is there something that you haven't gotten your hands on that you would like to do?
I've not done a music festival, or like my own show. I did one, but I feel like I want to do something more put together. But I feel like a music festival is going to be the craziest thing. I'm so nervous.
What's like the dream music festival?
I feel like Gov Ball would be really fun. I wanted to Gov Ball.
Yeah,
would
that's
be perfect
really
for you.
cool. Yeah.
And I feel like it's the perfect audience. It's all the middle school and like freshman girls like coming on the train to New York.
Exactly. I was like,
me.
that should definitely be on the 2023 like vision board.
Yeah,
I feel like that would
to do that.
That would be perfect. And you're going to be touring, right? Like with Big Time Rush
next month.
What was that like, finding that out?
Like,
because obviously was Big Time Rush big for you? Because it was big for me.
No, I'm like obsessed with them. And I'm very shy around them, and I'm so excited for the tour. Like I don't know what to expect, because I did Jingle Ball and that was very like
I knew I was going to do that.
It's going to happen eventually.
It was very produced, and that not like a bad thing, but it's a corporate kind of music festival.
And they feel like it's recorded, it airs on like TV and stuff, right? Like,
where I feel like this, I'll be able to chill more and be myself and like not get fined if I say a curse word. I don't think so. I feel like it's gonna be really cool.
Do you have like a tour regimen in mind of like how you're gonna get through these shows, or you're just
I feel like I don't know. I have a lot of like trust that I'll be fine, but everyone's like, you're gonna get sick. I'm like, no, I won't. I don't know, probably
gotta take vitamins or something. I don't know.
IVs. Every once in a while I think will be important.
One late night and I lose my voice, so I don't know. that would be tough.
Yeah, a lot of shows. We did a live podcast tour, and that was only 2 weeks long. We only did 5 shows, and we were by the end of it like, we don't know how anyone does this. So
but also it's in the summer, and I feel like that'll be easier. Like, at least it's nice out. Like, I think if it was in the winter, it'd be I don't know. I feel like I'll be fine, but everyone says like you won't, so I guess we'll see.
It'll be a lot of fun, and you're just gonna be in the moment, and it's gonna be awesome.
You get to travel, go to all these different places. I mean, I feel like you've gotten to really travel around the world to a lot of really cool places. Do you have any favorites?
I went to London recently, and that was like the most fun I've ever had on a trip. It was just like, it was for Burberry, and it was like with a bunch of people that I really liked, and it felt like summer camp kind of. I mean, obviously we were there like to go to a show, but like just the nights we'd go to dinner, and it was so much fun. I go to a lot of the same places over and over again. That was like the only place that was different, but I like traveling.
Now that you're back in New York, do you go back to Connecticut? Do you miss it at all? Like, are you ever in LA thinking, maybe I should spend some time on the East Coast for a little bit?
I miss it so much. Like, I really miss it. But we just got a condo in my hometown.
Oh, cool.
So hopefully after tour I could come back for a little bit, because all my friends are still here. Like, I'm sleeping at my best friend's house in Connecticut tonight. I'm like, then we're going to LA together tomorrow. But I wish
that
I
has
had
to be
more
so
time.
fun.
I'm glad, like, she's done with school now. It's summer, so
yeah,
I get to hang out with her. But all my friends are home, and I didn't get to see them. So next time.
Do you ever get like, because I know your friends are all in that college age range, like, do you see what they're doing, and do you ever, I mean, you're like, obviously, like, I'm not saying, you're blessed, and like how lucky you are to have these opportunities, but do you ever like see your friends out in college and be like, that, I wish I kind of got to do that?
Yeah, I think like, I'm very grateful for everything I do, and I know it's insane, but I do have FOMO. I'm like, oh, I would have so much fun, but I also don't think I would have, like, I think I would have gotten distracted by like partying in college.
You wouldn't like the school aspect. You just want to go to the parties.
Yeah. That's basically it.
Yeah.
So I might, next year I want to visit like all my friends and do like my own college tour.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll go with 3.
Yeah. The best way to do it is to just visit your friends and get to experience the parties and not actually have to go to school.
Just for a weekend.
I did that towards the end when I stopped going.
That's definitely the way to go.
But I definitely do want to go back to school at some point. Like, I just feel it'd be really fun if I ever, like, once things settle down a little bit, I would love to just like take some classes. I miss school. I feel like I would have done so much better because I've learned like so much about business in the past 2 years. Like, I think I would be much better now than 2 years ago.
And you like learn to appreciate it more. Like, sometimes when I look back on school, I didn't finish, I dropped out of college, but I look back and I'm like, if I just would have put a little bit more effort in. Like, I feel like when you get a little bit older and you look back, you're like, if I just would have tried a little bit more. Yes,
in high school, like, why was I so annoying? Like, just do what you need to do.
Right, like, do your homework. Like, it's not that hard. Yeah.
I definitely have a lot of regret, like, looking back on high school. I was like, it was so much fun. Like, I wish I just like did what I had to do. Like, it wasn't like just study and do your homework, and like, I don't know why I made it such a big deal.
Yep.
But
you always look back and want to make changes. I feel like that's just how life is. And I mean, the growth that you guys have had and how much social media has become such a major factor. Like, now, what was your thought process posting an Instagram or TikTok like at 18 versus now at 20?
I was probably more worried with like how many likes and what people are going to say. I mean, 18 was kind of like the middle of when this all happened. So I was like, oh my God, is this good? Like, ask my friends. Where now I literally post like whatever I want. I do have like some things, like I wanted my Instagram to look pretty, but I was just like, this is so boring. Like, I just want to post what I want.
Yeah.
Do you still check the likes, or do you just post?
I don't have likes on my Instagram.
Do you shut it off?
They took it away. They never gave it back.
So I have like a spam Instagram that I check sometimes on there if like I want to see, but I can't see anyone's likes, and I have for like 3 years.
Yeah,
I tried. I asked Instagram. They're like, no. Like,
honestly, it's better that way.
Yeah.
No, I think it is. It is fun because I do feel like, especially when you do the collage, pick collages and things like that, you get to see like your personality. Like, you're posting pictures of you with like the man filter face, and like those are like very funny. Yeah. It's unique to you too, I think. And I feel like Instagram's so hard to show your personality sometimes. So I just like do a little random thing. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. Do you now, like, when it comes to sharing private life stuff, do you want to share it or do you not want to share it?
I've realized it's kind of easy not to.
Yeah.
I don't post with anyone besides my sister, and I'm like, we're roommates, so
Yeah.
like we post when we do, but it's never like, oh my gosh, let's do this. And then if it's like something that happens to come together, I'll post. But like when I'm hanging out with my friends, I'm not on my phone, I'm not thinking about social media. And I feel like that's why like all the connections I have with people are very strong, because we never like, oh, this would go so viral, or like do something like that. It's all
let's do this TikTok, I got an idea.
Yeah.
That's smart. And it's honestly good to surround yourself with people like that are in the same business as you and know what you're going through, and when it's time to do the job, you do it. But also you need to have the separation of like, we're not thinking about like likes 24/7 and posting stories and like, look at what we're doing. It's just like enjoying your time off of there. Because there are a lot of people, I feel like, just like, we've been out in LA and we've seen like people, TikTokers, and we're like, all they're doing is filming everything. And
also it's so unsafe. Like people are posting their location.
I know, all the time.
That's another thing where I'm like, are they not afraid that people are gonna like just show up? Because there are some crazy people out there that will.
Yeah. That's why I'm like, or I'll save something and post it like later. But I just take pictures for memories. I have like so many pictures, but I don't know.
Yeah, it just doesn't need to be shared, and you get to do like the fashion aspect is really cool, because I do feel like that is something where you really thrive. Like I just get like, you give off very high fashion, like Kendall Jenner vibes, and the V magazine cover that you guys did, your mom, your sister, so cool.
Very, very.
How
cool.
fun was that?
It was fun. I'm like trying to remember what that day was like.
When did you do it? Do you remember?
Like it was like
months ago. Okay,
ago.
Not crazy.
But I feel like shoots with my family is really fun, but I definitely am more comfortable modeling when I'm on my own.
Yeah.
But I love doing that because my mom was a model, and like she kind of taught me a lot of stuff, because when I was growing up, I would come to the city like as much as I can for any modeling job. Like I would get on the train by myself. I would do like get my makeup done and take like test shots for like a makeup company or anything like for makeup, like not even money or anything. And I just love doing that, and I knew I really enjoyed modeling. I just like was short and like did a modeling camp, and they're like, yeah, you just need to like work on it some more. So I did do that a lot, but I was just like never thought I would be able to do anything more with it.
Yeah, it's very cool.
Thanks.
Yeah, now you're on the cover of magazines all the time.
That's weird. It's weird. Like I did something with Valentino, and I did a campaign, and it was like in the store, and it's just so odd to me.
These high
it's
fashion
like very
brands,
like that's what I'm saying. It's the designer brands that I feel like you and your sister are so involved in now, which is so cool.
Yeah, you did the Louis Vuitton campaign, right? Was that?
I think that was Charli.
Oh yeah,
I did Burberry and
Burberry.
Valentino are like the main two that I work with, but it's just been so cool, and everyone's so nice. Everyone like that I've met, I've been very lucky to be around very kind people who also take like my opinion into consideration, which is cool. So I've never been like,
and it's cool to hear, just because I feel like when people think of like the high fashion modeling world, it's gotten like a bad reputation from years past. But just to hear that, like,
but I definitely feel I'm lucky that I'm not with an agency, so I just kind of do more social stuff. I definitely want to get more into it, but I know that's a lot harder and different, and that's kind of where the tricky stuff happens. So I don't know if I don't know. I'm trying to decide whether I want to get into it or not, but I'm very I'm happy where I am. We'll see what happens.
Yeah,
it's all very exciting, and your
So
album
exciting.
comes out in June. Nervous, excited?
I'm excited.
All of it.
I think it's gonna be I don't know. I literally don't know.
One word to describe it.
I feel like there's not. I think what we kind of did was like all the songs are obviously stories, but nothing about what's going on in my life right now, which I think is nice. And it's not about any drama or anything. So like nothing's going to come out like, oh my gosh, is this about Noah Beck or like whatever. It's just like stuff that I like or stuff that I am interested in, or I'm like, let's make something so toxic and so whatever, and just like get all those emotions out there. And like it doesn't even have to do with like anything specific, but I did have like 18 years of my life before I did social media, so I did have other life experiences. But I think I'm excited to see the reaction. I don't know what it's going to be like, but I think it's going to be different, better reaction from what I've been getting.
I mean, you're like you said, you're working with some massive names, people that have produced BTS songs, and like, what's catchier than Butter? It's like the catchiest song of all time. So I feel like, and I felt like when I listened to Wild, I was like, ooh, this is really catchy. Like, people are gonna be like, it's gonna be all over TikTok. People are gonna be hyped about it, and everyone can listen. When you're listening to this now, you'll be able to stream the new song, listen to it, get ready for Dixie on tour, because you can get tickets to go see her on and Big Time Rush. Are you nervous?
I'm nervous but excited. I feel like it's gonna be really good and really fun. Like, my second show's in Bridgeport, Connecticut, so I'm like having like
awesome.
a homecoming.
Yeah.
And then there's like a lot of big shows. I don't know what it's gonna
you're
be
back
like.
at MSG, right?
Yeah.
Awesome. So fun.
Very cool. Congratulations on everything, and I think everyone is very excited.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks for coming in, Dixie.
Thanks, guys. Thanks.